What's up, everybody? It's I didn't even say hello to the cyberspace cadets. What's happening, people? It's Irate Prostate here. It's Friday night. It's kind of crazy. A little audio problem there for a second. Sorry about that. You couldn't hear that awesome music that I put together for you guys. I'm sorry about that, but we got a special show. 6 weeks we've gone without guests, and tonight we have brought a guest in, and I want to introduce, before we get to the guest, I would like to introduce the usual suspects, beginning with the Tim of the Hun. Say hello, baby.
Hello, baby.
That's right. And the Killing Joke.
Hey. Oh, am I muted? Oh.
No, you're fine. And Trippy Poop.
What's up, everybody?
And of course, the guest of the hour, a fellow Southerner. For fuck's sake, it's taken me this long to find somebody in the South to fucking stream with. So yeah, it's so Fain, the one and only, the pimpin' half of Poisoning the Well.
And I gotta say, the background and the thumbnail are kind of tripping me out. I appreciate that, but it is kind of trippy.
Yeah, you dig that?
I'm trippy. God.
Oh, you're getting a fight here. Okay, so we'll switch to the calmer stuff in the background, and go for the Halloween theme here. We got the so.
I can't believe you were able to get Bret Hart on here.
Woo, baby!
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you checked my Twitter, man, but Tanuki sent a. Do you know Tanuki pretty well? Are you?
Of course.
Yeah.
Tanuki actually, and this is a story I've told quite a few times, but actually, Tanuki was the first person to super chat me in person.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was last summer in LA, and I showed up at man, it was Bunty King's house, and I walked in, and Tanuki's there, and he comes up, and he just hands me $1. I'm like, what's this for? And he's like, you're a faggot. Yeah, okay.
That's
like, all right,
man. Oh my God. Oh yeah, he sent me a photograph with instead of spikes, dicks coming off your glasses and shit. Like
Yep. He made that. That was that same weekend. He's a charming fellow. I really like Tanuki, despite how cruel he can be.
Yeah. Well, you know, he's his own worst enemy. What can we say?
Aren't we all, though?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, man. Yeah, we just I thought, man, it's like me and this crew have been flying, like, trying to fill each other out and everything, and I think we've gotten to a point of where we have a good chemistry. And I said, let's get some new folks on. It was really weird because I had sent you that tweet Sunday night before I saw your show. It was like a couple hours before you guys went live.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and I saw that y'all were talking about, touching base with other people and stuff, kind of, broadening the comfort zone when it comes to, new people on YouTube and stuff. And I really appreciate you, giving somebody, like me with the lower than 1K sub count, the time of day.
Man, look, we spent most of the history of our channel was with less than 1K sub count, man. So I don't know. I don't feel like we're any bigger than a 1K sub count, man. It's funny how that works. I always thought, like, when we started, I was like, man, if we had fucking 15,000 subs, man, that would be king shit of fuck mountain. And nah, it's still the same thing. And so, man, no, it's cool. I'm glad you guys invited me to stop by and hang out. Yeah, it's really cool. So, and yeah, we would have liked to have done that Sunday. We already scheduled a stream to sit and talk a little bit about MythCon and and our experience there. So we were doing that thing, but I'm glad we were able to work it out tonight.
What was your favorite take from VidCon?
Oh boy, the Sargon scale, the invention of the Sargon scale. That's what my favorite thing was. Now, when Sargon was debating Richard Carrier, about a half an hour in, you'll and I don't know if you've seen it, if you watched that debate, but about half an hour in, Sargon was already being too aggressive and already just firing shots and killing strawmen. And he got to this point where Richard Carrier was saying like, look, man, yeah, I'm opposed to these radical SJWs as well. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're trying to make me into one. I'm against that. I'm against that as well. And Sargon was like, kept beating him up with it. He's like, look, man, I'd like to do something and change those people as well. I just want to go about it a different way. And Sargon turned and said, look, if I can't do it with my 850,000 subscribers, you're not going to be able to do it with your 5,000. I was like, all right. Now, when somebody does that, when somebody does that, it's a very clear message. And I talked to him about this afterwards, and told him that we had invented the Sargon scale, which is more subscribers equals better than. But the irony of it is, at the after party, I was like, fuck, if we go by the Sargon scale to elect our new leader, Sargon is no longer the new leader. And so that night we had to elect a new leader, and that leader is Shoe-on-Head. Shoe-on-Head has the most subscribers, meaning she is clearly the best of us, the smartest, the brightest, and the most worthy, according to the scale that Sargon came up with.
The scale that Sargon built.
Yep.
But doesn't that put PewDiePie at the top?
No, not anymore.
Is she out?
He just got passed.
By whom?
I don't know if you knew that. He got passed by what is it? T-Series. T-Series, I believe it is. T-Series is a movie and music production studio from India. It's Bollywood. Bollywood.
Wow.
Okay, well, nobody can stop the forces of Bollywood. That's Bollywood.
Yeah, it's Bollywood. I know. So really, Bollywood is where we should be looking for direction and for our moral compass.
Okay, you better
I'm working
really fast and get fucking flexible. But
yeah, I am trying to work on my choreography. So we'll see. Yeah, I just want to fit in. I just want to fit in.
I can do the hand-in-hand movements. I can do those for you, man. I can show you how to shake your head back and forth. I'm a female.
Well, it's those the hand angles are like essential. You got to get those just right, or else you're sending the wrong signals, man. It's just
it's a very complicated thing.
It's deep shit. Well, didn't you go out east and do some exploration? I noticed over the summer, or like it was really kind of like late spring. Weren't you out? Yeah. What? Tell us about that.
Yeah, I went out to India and spent some time going through driving across India. Spent most of my time in Jaipur, the Pink City, which is fucking great. What a great town. But it's very different. I filmed a video about MythCon there, where I was kind of complaining about Christy Winters, and actually that was one that it seems like most people wanted to bring up. Like the quartering was like, yeah, I saw your video in India, and I tell Sargon, I'm like, really, we've done so many things. That video of me walking through the fucking just impoverished streets of India is what people seem to connect me, with me.
Right.
But India is a fucking great place. The people are awesome, and I'll give you a quick fact and it was something I learned while I was there, and that is 50 people a year die in monkey fights, and let me explain that. We were driving in a Jeep. I was going to the outskirts of town to ride an elephant. I wanted to ride on the back of an Indian elephant and film that. And we were going through town, and we had to stop because a cow was crossing the street, and so every fucking thing has to stop for the cow. Sitting there, I'm looking over to the left, and there's a bunch of monkeys, like a pack of monkeys, and there's a couple babies and stuff, and the guy I was with was like, holy shit, look at these monkeys, and he jumps out, and he's got some chips and stuff he's running over to give to these baby monkeys. And the driver turned to me and he was like, "What is he doing?" I'm like, he's jumping out there. He's like, "Look, it's not a good idea to start a fight with a monkey." And I'm like, "Wait, he's not gonna fight? Is he fighting?" And I opened my door and I was like, "Hey, don't fight the monkeys." And that's when, like, the head monkey, this guy kind of moved his way to the front of the pack, and he's probably about a 85-pound monkey, but just like ripped. Dude was fucking ripped, and he's just looking at my friend, just staring at him, and kind of bows up, and you could just tell my friend was like, "Oh fuck, this monkey is about to fight me," and he's trying to back off and throw chips. And I jumped out, and then thought about it, because there's like fucking 15 monkeys, and I was like, nope. And so I jumped back in and like, "Good luck, you're on your own." But luckily we were able to get him back in, and he was like, "What the fuck was that?" And yeah, the driver was like, it's a terrible idea to fight with a monkey. He's like, "I didn't want to fight with him." He's like, you don't choose if you're fighting with monkeys. Monkeys choose to fight with you. And so I looked this up, and it's a thing. It's a fucking thing. These packs of monkeys will just roll around the cities and beat the fucking living shit out of people. I just said 50 of them died. Most people survive a monkey fight, but 50 are fucking murdered by monkeys in India every fucking year. Look it up.
Hey, thanks. I need to stop you for a second. Costa Sock donated $50. It says this is for the beer fund.
Whoa!
Beer fund, man. He said don't buy the cheap shit. Oh, and flowers for Uzi Q. Yeah, Uzi Q is my wife. That was great. Thanks, Costa Sock. You're awesome, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
So we're talking. All right. So when you say monkeys, all right. When you say monkeys, are you talking like the monkeys with long tails? Or are you talking like the mini apes, like the kind that look like they can think and shit,
like baboons and stuff?
Yeah, exactly. Man,
those things got some teeth on them. Ooh.
Yeah, I gotta pour a shot here. Tonight I'm drinking Captain Morgan's Cannon Blast. Have you guys had that?
Oh, yeah.
I am a non-drinker.
Yeah, I can't drink either.
Skull.
Yeah, me too.
I have to be home for Christmas.
All right, well, that was my first shot of it. I haven't tried it before.
What, baby?
That's unique.
Yeah, it'll grab you by the boo-boo there.
You gotta watch the boo-boo.
Oh, well, anyway, that shot.
Boo-boo there, sweetheart.
That shot was for Daddy, $50.
That's right, man. That was awesome, man. Thank you so much. And Goat Man's in the house. Everybody say hey to Goat Man. Goat Man!
I was talking to Goat Man's kids today.
Oh, sweet,
we're having a good time. I was doing the WJOKD thing and had him bopping around the house, cleaning the house, with him and his kids, playing some Motley Crue and some Led Zeppelin. He was enjoying it thoroughly. So, hey, Goat Man.
Yeah, Joe just likes to. He collects flags for copyright infringement.
Yep.
Yeah. How many have you got this week now?
Oh, gee, this week or all time? I'm knocking on 400's door, and for my two streams this week, as I play music behind my streams and use copyrighted music, because you know what? The way I look at it, people want to hear the music, and why not give it to them?
Yeah, until you're monetized, who gives a shit?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even if I'm not going to ever monetize. I that's just like pissing off a rope. Forget it. I'm just looking to put out quality content, something that the chat will enjoy and that I enjoy.
Yeah, I got hit by the weirdest fucking songs joke when I did that music stream thing.
Did you?
The birthday karaoke one. One of the songs was Chicken Hunting by ICP. And I got a copyright thing from that.
Do you know how many worldwide blocks there are on AC/DC songs? Yep. Especially old ones with Bon Scott in it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them.
AC/DC, they're really big on copyright shit. I got a buddy that wrote a book, and he titled it Thunderstruck, and he had to ask them permission to use the title.
Holy shit.
No. But actually, Thunderstruck is free to go. It's free and clear. You'll get no copyright strikes if you use that song.
Yeah, I think they held they held something just on the title, Thunderstruck, at the time.
Well, man, look, Joke. I gotta ask, man. So, are you a fan of the band Killing Joke?
Yes, I was when I was young.
Okay, yeah, me too, man. When I was a teenager, man, Killing Joke was a big deal to me. So anyway, I just want to say, I like that name, man.
See, that's the deep cut.
Thank you very much.
They're the British, kind of edgy new wave band, man. Good stuff.
I was into the heavy New York hardcore scene, and that went hand in hand with the punk new wave thing when I was young. I'm a little bit of an old timer. I just hit 48 years old, so
I turned 48 last week.
Hey, congratulations! I hit that on Tuesday, man.
Well, happy birthday!
Well, happy birthday to
man.
you too, so Fain.
Thank you.
Right.
And you guys are all still a few months younger than my husband.
Yeah.
So wait, your birthday's in October too?
Yeah.
I'm October 4th.
Oh, hey.
Oh,
October 4th.
you owe each other a beer.
You can have
Here, we'll have another one of these terrible shots.
If you could have another shot at insulin, have one on me, pal.
Yeah, just drinking from the bottle.
Yeah.
It says right on there, don't jest.
To hell with the man.
Yeah, that's like with science. I don't believe in that shit. No. Wait, what?
Oh God.
Yeah, I actually, Fain. So, Mr. Fain. So, Mr. So, I don't know what to call you, Mr. So. I took my name from the Killing Joke comic book.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, I'm more into the Joker than I was the band. So.
I'm a fan of the comic book as well, even though the comic book ripped off the band's name.
Oh yeah. I totally agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
Totally agree with you.
That movie was bad. Did you guys watch
that movie? Was very bad.
Yeah, the movie was not very good.
No.
I'm not even talking about that first half hour either. Like the whole thing was kind of off.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any way you could give the book justice. I think that was just an attempt to make money. It's like, did y'all see the Gotham by Gaslight? That wasn't too bad, but it's still, it's like Mike Mignola and shit. It's just, I don't know. But
I'll tell you what,
it was pretty good. It was okay. I like Gotham by Gaslight.
It's a great book.
My bang for the buck is DC animated, movies. Yeah. They're really good.
Yeah.
And for the most part, they really shit the bed on the Killing Joke.
They did. They did, but I do like most of their animated movies.
Yeah, exactly.
They're good at the animated ones, and Marvel's got the live-action ones kind of nailed in.
Yeah, DC is now trying to play catch-up, but
you ain't
working. Wonder Woman was good, though.
Wonder Woman was good.
Yeah,
if you could do one, you could think you could do the other. Like, you wouldn't think that it's that different of a medium that you could.
But they're trying to play catch-up, though, and they're rushing the story.
Yeah,
what's funny is they were way out ahead. I mean, when I was a kid, and I guess you too. The Superman movies.
Oh yeah.
There was no DC equivalent. That reminds me of Pat's favorite Superman joke, which is what's the opposite of Christopher Reeves? Christopher Walken.
Dude, it's like we get to change the. That reminds me of this joke, right? Superman's like flying around the world every day. He does it, just looking for shit to take care of, right? And every day for this week, he sees Wonder Woman just laying out naked on this rock, and she's gorgeous and she's so hot. And every time he sees her, man, he gets some wood, and it's just like, God damn, oh God. And so he starts thinking, you know what, man? I think if I pull my drawers down and swoop down, I think I could pop that shit and just knock it. What happened to her, right? So, he's flying around, he sees her one day, and he does it. He pulls his drawers down, and leaves. And then Wonder Woman looks up and says, what the fuck was that? And the Invisible Man goes, I don't know, but my ass is killing me, man.
Shit. I've heard that one.
You know what? I love that joke. I heard that one. I heard that one when I was younger, and
it's sixth grade. It's sixth grade, right, or something.
I forgot it. I was excited to hear. I was like, "Oh, finally, I get to hear how this joke went again." And I forgot all about the Invisible Man because I was like, "Where is the hook in that?
Yeah.
What makes it not rape? Oh, when it's man rape. That's what makes
rape. But somebody else's."
Well, Superman, you know, he's faster than a speeding bullet. Yeah, he killed a hooker for making that joke.
But I always thought it would be like Superman coming, like Hancock movie, the deleted scenes.
Yeah.
You ever see that? The deleted scenes?
No.
When he was with that broad and he was laying in his trailer, he's like, no, get off of me. And he shot a load and it went through the top of the trailer.
That's great.
It was
Hancock's one of my favorite superhero movies.
I enjoyed that movie. I for the life of me, I don't know why, but it was good.
Well, you know. Yeah.
Teach me.
So, all right. So, Fain, all right, man, tell me a little bit. All right, are you from the South? Were you born and raised here? Okay.
Yeah, man. I'm actually from the Panhandle of Florida. So sorry, Panama City. That really sucks for you guys. But I grew up in Okaloosa County near Destin, Florida, and then once I turned 18, I moved to Pensacola, and I lived there until Hurricane Ivan wiped, and that was the last hurricane I was going to deal with. And I'd actually lost my job, lost everything, and at the time it was really hard to get a vehicle, get like a moving truck out of Pensacola. Everybody was going out, trucks weren't coming in, and so I was on a 3-month waiting list, and it really sucked. But finally, by the time I got my truck, I was down to my last $1,000. I had maxed all my credit cards and everything, trying to fucking stay alive. So they were like, "Look, you've got this is 2004." They were like, "Look, you've got a couple choices." I was like, "I want to move to a city." And they were like, "All right, you can move to Jacksonville." I was like, "No, I'm not going to move to fucking Jacksonville. That's too close to the water. I don't want to deal with fucking hurricanes anymore." And they're like, all right. You can move to New Orleans. I'm like, "Look, I've lived in New Orleans. I lived on the east side briefly in Terrytown. And I don't need to deal with any more cluckers and crackheads, so I'm going to skip that." And they were like, "Atlanta." And I'm like, "Cool, we'll do it." So I moved up to Atlanta, rented a room in Sight Unseen off of Memorial Avenue, which was a terrifying place. But so I moved up here, and just to get away, and for my last $1,000, managed to find a job and get going. But I've always lived in the South. But most of it was in the Panhandle of Florida,
which is definitely the South. You know, if you're from the South, you know that.
Oh, it's as South as it gets, dude. What's funny is I moved to Atlanta, and people were like, "Oh, you're from Florida, man. Did you go to Miami a lot?" And I'm like, "Look, I lived in Pensacola, Florida. I was closer to Houston, Texas, or Oklahoma City than I was to Miami. Florida is a long motherfucker, and if you've ever made that drive tip to tip, you know why you don't, if you live in Pensacola, you don't go visit Miami much, because holy fuck, what a long fucking boring drive. Fuck.
You've been down
it's
to
like
Keys,
driving
man?
through Pennsylvania the long way. You know?
Yeah, corner to corner. Yeah. Or Tennessee, corner to corner. You know, that's but yeah, so when I sent you that DM about the butter beans and cornbread, I didn't know if you were, if that would ring a bell or anything. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I get it.
So, yeah, exactly, man.
I'm from here. You know, I'm still one of those. I'm one of those liberals with an assault rifle. I'm a Southern liberal. Yeah. So, yeah, I get it.
The fuck is a liberal?
That's me, baby. I'm not like Sargon. Sargon, I got a chance to spend a little time with him, and
I just usually stay away from politics. Not really. I'm not gonna hold up my fingers like a cross and be like, "Oh no, politics."
No, most people do. Look, that's how I got the name. I came by the name Soy Fain, honestly. That was in my battles with Andy Worski and everything. I came by that honestly. I'm the I'm the soy boy, liberal cuck in this community, and I'm proud of it.
Why do you have tits?
I was gonna say, because it's like usually when you guys open up, Pat has always got a different kind of like nickname for you when he introduces you. And
he always gets it wrong.
My favorite was the Sultan of Salts. I thought that was funny as shit, man.
That is
the crap what you are, brother. You know, you're you. That's it. You know, I mean, liberal, conservative, it's your person, dude.
I did like the Sultan of Salt. That one really got me.
That was funny, wasn't it?
That was really funny. We actually used that later in that little video we did before we went on the Kumite, to have my one-on-one with Warski. And we put out a little video, that wrestling promo video. I don't know if you call that, but we used that in that.
No, I don't remember that, but yeah, I remember you doing it, right?
Yeah, it was a good time, man. It was a good time.
Yeah.
I'm also the only person who's pierced Andy Warski's ear. I did that with my sunglasses. He's a short guy, and I went to give him a bro hug, and one of my spikes went right through the top of his ear, and he bled for a little while. Yeah, so don't think that my spikes are just for decoration. These fucking things are real, and they're heavy. I mean, we don't have video. I'm wearing them right now, and that shit's fucking heavy. These are real spikes, and they will go through you.
Dude, man.
Aren't a bunch of the YouTubers, or well-known people on YouTube, are a bunch of them kind of short?
Yeah, absolutely. Most of them are short. There's a few of them that are like, okay, Dieter Lucum is exceptionally tall, but then Greg, Armored Skeptic, he's in the 6'2", 6'3" range. And also somebody I just met up in Milwaukee, the Quartering, Jeremy's a tall guy, but I will say most of them are small. Not everybody is Chris Raygun size. Chris Raygun is he's adorable.
Good time photos. He does look kind of small.
Like you won't put him in his pocket and take him home and feed him soup.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Now, he dislikes me so much, but he is a funny little angry guy. There's a lot of reasons, man, and the last one was back in July when we flew out to LA, we landed, and we showed up at his house, and he turns around and he looks at us like, oh god, it's poisoning the well, more like poisoning the everything. I'm like, Chris, you are not funny. You need a writer. Don't do off the cuff stuff, man. It's not your thing. Try to wing it,
dude. Oh my god. So all right, so you've kind of seen this. I mean, shit, we might as well explore this shit, right, man? We're just doing the YouTube thing because it's like I hopped on doing this thing April, what is a year ago, right? Right. So I jumped on right before the fucking adpocalypse and all that shit happened, right?
yeah, great timing.
Why don't you? Yeah, exactly, man. That's my entire life, in a nutshell, right there. So why don't you contrast exactly what it was like when you guys bopped in and the changes that you've seen?
All right, well, I'll tell you this. Ours is a little different. First of all, Roasted Opinions. Actually, Lacey Green is the exact same height as Chris. All right, so that's out of the way. They're perfect. Actually, they're perfect for each other.
She looks fine.
And she has more armpit hair.
She looks bouncy.
Anyway.
I love Lacey Green. She's one of my favorites to hang out with in real life. She's just so fucking funny off the cuff, and just a really surprisingly charming person. So, but the thing is, we started well before the apocalypse, but we didn't get any uptake. Nobody was seeing us. We were catching the the atheist community, which merged into the skeptic community.
Right.
We were catching that at the end of its glory, and the thing is, we just weren't getting enough views to really worry about monetization. And it wasn't until Adpocalypse happened that we really started getting the views. It was around the time that you started. Was when we started actually getting some traffic and really started growing after we did the Armored Skeptic and Logic rap battle video on Logic's channel, and then came along, and ironically enough, the Chris Ray Gun and Lacey Green video. That's when we really started getting views. So the Adpocalypse, even though we were around before it, we noticed zero fucking difference. And that's why you don't see us bitching that much about it. We weren't making any money on YouTube before it. We're not making any money on YouTube after it. It's only our Patreon supporters that have allowed us to build this studio and do some of these, get this equipment and everything we have now. But virtually none of it came from actual YouTube advertising. As a matter of fact, we just had a video removed. So we don't expect that we're ever going to really catch any ad revenue. We're going to be driven by our fans. We're going to be paid for and funded by our fans. And I hate using that word. I don't know what else you say.
Right.
By our patrons, but whatever. So I don't know. There's really not that difference. You didn't really, unless you would have popped years earlier, and already been getting that ridiculous amount of money that a lot of these guys got, you wouldn't notice. When you see somebody complaining about the Adpocalypse, the larger YouTube channel, it's because he used to make a shit ton of money, an unreasonable amount of money for what he was likely putting into his work. So I don't feel a ton of sympathy for a lot of them. When you sit down, flip a light on, and start the mic, and you're used to getting paid $15,000 a month for that. Now you're getting paid $5,000 a month for it.
You still can't complain.
Yeah, I just don't have much sympathy.
Yeah, no tears for that shit. I got you, man.
I mean, if and streaming, honestly, there's no money in anything but anything from streaming other than Streamlabs.
Right.
Yeah.
Even if you get super chats, unless you're pulling in huge amounts of super chats, you're getting 30%.
No, you get
30% goes to YouTube.
Yeah, 30% goes to YouTube. You get 70.
And you still hold back until you reach your threshold.
Right. You have to have at least $100 for them to pay you.
Yeah,
and $500 for the pay. But if you get enough, I don't know what 70% of 1488 is, but Andy Worski made plenty off of that. So
exactly, but but you also gotta keep the content going, and if you're in it for the money, you're doing it for the wrong reason, in my book. For me, I can't talk about anybody else, but the reason I stream is because I enjoy it. I have fun with it, and you might as well have fun with it.
I agree with you, and that's why Pat and I do it. Is because we enjoy doing it. We both have full-time jobs.
Exactly. You have your expenses covered, and hey, this is something fun. Hey, if you get a little extra bread on the side, hey, that's extra gravy on our biscuit.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Actually, every cent we've ever made has gone back into the channel.
Exactly. That's exactly what I do. Any money that I make from my stream goes right back into equipment or improving the stream, for giveaways for the chat.
Speaking of giveaways,
that's exactly right.
Funny you should mention
nice
that.
Segue.
But that's right. If you subscribe to Irate Prostate channel and you make a comment, on any of my videos, you qualify for a $40 Amazon card drawing at the end of the month. Actually, it's going to be on the 1st during the Hot Takes with Big Fat Brian and your boy Pat. We're going to be hanging out and looking at the Castlevania during that stream, and at the end, we'll do the drawing. And so, sign up for that shit.
I really like Pat. You mentioned your boy Pat.
He's a great guy, man.
He's a good guy. He's a good guy.
Yeah, man.
I love the way he talks. I love the way he talks. Too.
Yeah,
it really gets to it. It makes me laugh.
Yeah, I could listen to him. Yeah, I could listen to him talk for hours and hours. It's very soothing.
I did an interview, just a one-on-one with him a couple weeks back, and it's one of the best interviews. He's funny as shit, man. We were just sitting there, we were cracking up. He's a great guy. Yeah, it's like I love interesting people, man, and you know, it's really weird how, you know, like he just popped in my head that, you know, Sunday, you know, right before y'all made that. It was so weird. And it, you know, I don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's like a, you know, I don't know. Anyway.
Well, no, I get it, and that's one of the things we've. One of my favorite parts about getting on YouTube and starting to do things is some of the people we've met and some of the friends we've been able to make. I really like the community that we've gathered as far as people we know, and it's really cool to be able to do something like fly up to MythCon and show up at the party on Friday night, and you know everybody there. You know what I mean? And you're. Yeah. And a lot of the people are really cool. And what's funny is, and that's what our stream was about Sunday too, was how different people are on, you know, in face to face when you're hanging out with them than they are, then their persona comes across as being. And some of the things like looking at Music Man Mike, you know, drinking and having some laughs with Sargon and the quartering, you know, is just one of those things where I'm like, this is really fucking funny. And then later, Music Man Mike playing the guitar while a transsexual who was on The Voice, the first transsexual on The Voice, I think, to be selected to a team or however that works. But her and Music Man Mike saying, "I will always love you" to Armored Skeptic and Chew On Head. And I was like, this is surreal. This moment is so fucking weird. And I'm sitting there with Pat and I'm like, what is happening? He's like, I don't know. I was like, it's so fucking funny, and everybody's really cool, and so we've made a lot of cool friends off of this, and I think that's probably the biggest value out of being on YouTube is just how many cool people you can meet. And now we're getting to the point where we're getting invited to the same things that a lot of our favorite YouTubers are getting invited to, and then we get to hang out with them and do these cool things. It's fucking awesome. It really is. It's just fucking awesome.
Well, you know, I think the first time that we interacted, I said something about Nick Saban to you or some shit. And you were like, fuck that. Yeah. So what are you guys Georgia fans or Tech fans or what?
Pat is a Georgia fan. Pat is a Georgia fan. He grew up here in Atlanta. I met him after I moved up here. I am a Florida State.
Oh, yeah, Seminole. Fuck yeah.
Seminole fan.
Yeah.
I briefly, in my brief college career, before I dropped out of college, I blew a lot of money on some classes I didn't attend, and those happened to be at Florida State. So I've maintained my Florida State fanboyness. But since I moved here, when I moved here, I did adapt. I do root for the Bulldogs. I mean, they're right down here. I do root for the Rambling Wreck. Yeah. And I root for the Falcons and the Braves. Sorry, Braves, man. That was tough, but the Dodgers are a better fucking team, guys. Man, I feel lucky living here in Atlanta and being able to be around these teams and go to these games and shit like that. It's one of the things I really enjoy about living in Atlanta. But yeah, still a State fan.
That's right. Well, it's like I went to Bama my freshman year, man, and I did the same thing. I shot my wad, man. Just, left a lot of money and a lot of fucking
Yeah, man, Tuscaloosa is one of those towns, dude. You can either go to school or you can party in Tuscaloosa for a year. It's your choice. One or the other. Yes, that's right, Death. I am literally Florida man, and I have a lot of those Florida man stories because, man, you just live there and that shit just happens to you every time. Somebody like, oh, look, it's another Florida man story. I'm like, yeah, you act like it's not real. It's real.
What do you think, man? It's like I have a theory about beaches and shit. And having an effect on people. And see, because if you go to Cali, man, some of those the beach people, you know, on the coast there, they do some crazy shit too. So what?
Yeah, well, that's the thing about the Florida Panhandle is it's
a lot of,
you know, where you can actually. I mean, when I was growing up, there were stretches of beach which now have condos and, you know, and $1 million retail complexes on them, but when I was young, those areas had trailer parks. No, you could park your double wide on the goddamn beach on the Gulf of fucking Mexico when I was a kid, and that engenders a type of mentality that is really hard to explain. When I first moved to Atlanta, people say, "Oh, you're from Florida." I'm like, well, I like to consider it LA. And that just stands for when you're from the Panhandle, and anybody who's from the Panhandle knows what I'm talking about, the Emerald Coast. LA is what we call it, and we'll tell people, oh, I'm from LA. It just means Lower Alabama.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say, Lower Alabama, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And that's what it is, man. It's rednecks on the beach. And me and the guy, my roommate who I moved up here with, his name is Nick. We called ourselves beach billies because that's exactly what it was. It's a hillbilly, except you live on the beach. You know, there's no hills. That's the only difference.
That's awesome, man. So if you got any like one major story that just sticks out that you know have to tell, you know. That's just like,
what about Northwest Florida?
About just fucked up Florida man shit that happened to
Florida
you.
man shit.
Yeah.
You know what? Let me think about that for just a second. Okay. Because I have a lot of fucking stupid. You know what? Let me tell you the story. I'll tell you a quick story. And it was about the storm that chased me out, Hurricane Ivan. And it's just on my mind because hurricanes have been on my mind a lot. My family still lives down there, and by the way, they're fine. It's a lot of rain, and it sucked for a minute, but they're okay. They're not actually in Panama City. You know, hurricanes were just a part of my life growing up. They hit constantly, and as long as you're not really around the eye wall, you're okay. What sucked about this was the eye wall rolled up on Mexico Beach, and that would really sucked. But Hurricane Ivan, the eye wall came right through Pensacola, and I did not evacuate. Instead, I stayed to videotape in the hurricane, and which, if you know anything about me, that sounds exactly right. And it was crazy. It was crazy. But the storm surge had washed completely over Pensacola Beach and made for some unique shit. The first thing, it hit in the middle of the night. And as soon as sun started coming up, we started heading toward the cliffs for Pensacola Bay. And we found one of the most remarkable things I've ever seen. We came to Pensacola Bay, and first of all, the Interstate 10 bridge across Pensacola Bay was broken. And there was a semi-truck, like, cracked in half and hanging off the end of it. And I was like, holy fuck, look at this shit. And I look over to my left, and at the tip of the bay is this giant mountain of color. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And so I'm like, look, we got to go check this the fuck out. We go over, we fucking walk through, and it took us a while to get over to the end of this. And this is up on the beach, kind of on the cliff. There's this giant mountain. And when we got closer, I could see what it is. I was like, man, this is nothing but coolers and koozies. the storm surge, you know, which hit like a giant wave right across Pensacola Beach, picked up everybody's coolers and all their koozies and anything that would float, and washed this through Pensacola Bay and pushed it all up in this one huge mountain. And I was like, man, we've got to climb this. We've got to climb it. And so me and my buddy, we climbed this. We're sitting there climbing this. I'm like, holy fuck, dude, we can sell so many koozies. We are set with koozies for life. And we get to the top, and at the very top, sitting on top of this thing, is a fireman's helmet. And I was like, holy shit. And I'm running over and I'm like, I want this so bad. I run over, and right as I grab it by the top and put my hand on it, my buddy goes, stop. I'm like, what? He's like, what if there's a fireman underneath there? I was like, you know what? Let's go back home. I don't want to even check. I did not even lift that the fuck up. I don't want to know if there was a fireman under that fucking helmet, if he was still wearing it. We went home. We stole a generator on the way, and cranked that thing up in my apartment complex and started I have a siren, an air raid siren. I don't know if it's an electric. Right over to like, I want this. We started that up, and so it was loud enough that people, because the feds had still were blocking people from coming into town, and we had an air raid siren. We had we pilfered a bunch of fucking steaks, and we had a giant fucking party, and grilled steaks for the survivors who stayed there and hung out, and it was awesome. One of my favorite memories. But hurricanes fucking suck. Hurricanes fucking suck. But really cool experience. Just don't live there, man. I moved to Atlanta, and I love it. I had some people on Twitter say, hey, man, I hope you're okay during the hurricane. I'm like, by the time a hurricane gets here, it's fucking rain.
Yeah.
So I'm finally back. I had to make some phone call. Turns out that my dick got a lawyer, and it's suing me and saying that it's a battered spouse.
That's what happens when you talk about
Where the fuck did that joke come
dude.
from?
How many times do I have to tell you this?
Oh, dude.
Well, I'm getting sued at Tema. God.
What happened
Somehow
to
I dialed
Joker?
the phone.
It's matriarchy. I'm telling you,
you
the matriarchy's after you.
Maybe he went to go walk Grumble Snorts or something.
I love that dog, dude. That dog is adorable. Oh my god. Oh my god. So, when you were in India, did you go around and like try a bunch of different foods and stuff? Did you try things regionally, or did you?
Yeah, I did, and I have a story about that too.
Oh no.
Now the thing is, I got pretty lucky on. I brought this travel. I forget, Travelan, is that what it's called? It's they're these pills, and you take them once a day when you're traveling abroad and eating food that your body's not used to. I think it's called Travelan. And so I was doing that, and I ate a lot of fucking really cool, interesting food. I did find that I grew tired of their spice palette fairly quickly. Oh, there's my dog. Hey, what's up, Sid? But the thing was, so on the final day I was in India, I went to the oh god damn it, what's that fucking goddamn Muslim temple? The oh, I guess the one everybody knows.
Taj
Fucking
Mahal?
shit. The Taj Mahal, which is not Hindu. Everybody, it is a Muslim temple. I didn't realize that until I was there. I was like, this is Muslim as fuck. And so I had to drive from the city that the Taj Mahal's in to New Delhi, which is quite a drive. And so we got in the Jeep, and we're heading to New Delhi and to catch our flight. And we, in the middle of nowhere, we pass a McDonald's, and I was like, fuck, stop at McDonald's. First of all, I like to eat at McDonald's everywhere. Anytime I travel abroad, I like to, it is a little bit different no matter where you go, and but I still find it interesting. But I knew one thing, is that you can't serve beef in India. And so I really wanted to try McDonald's. I was like, McDonald's kind of backed into a corner. That's kind of their thing.
No shit.
Well, when I went in, I found that they had a thing called the Maharaja Mac, which is their Big Mac. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm looking at the picture, and it looks like a fucking Big Mac to me. But obviously they have changed it to these veggie burger patties. But it looks like a fucking Big Mac to me. So I'm like, I want that motherfucker. I want the Maharaja Mac combo. Now, we don't eat there. We get it to go, jump in the Jeep, and are on the road. And I'm eating this Maharaja Mac. Now, what I learned was, instead of pickles, they replaced the pickles with peppers. With peppers. And I was like, okay, that's fucking, this shit is spicy. The special sauce was some kind of really fucking goddamn spicy sauce. It was not the usual Big Mac sauce.
It sounds Indian,
and I'm like,
doesn't it?
I was like, oh, fuck, this is hot. This burger is fucking hot. Now I eat it, and I'm like, okay, that was fucking terrible. I did not like it. I'm not really a spicy food eater, and that may have been among the spiciest foods I had in India, was the Maharaja Mac. And the thing is, I'm a couple hours from boarding a plane, and that was the one that did it, man.
Oh.
All the food, man. I ate food from street vendors that I'm pretty sure is dog. I ate everywhere. I tried everything and never had a hiccup until I had that goddamn Maharaja Mac. And it wasn't until I loaded on the plane, which, by the way, they confiscated all my spikes in India. On the way back, they would not let me on the plane. They're way rougher than TSA, and they are carrying their guns in a very violent way, aggressive way. And I get on this airplane, and I've got a 16-hour flight that I'm on, and as soon as I sit down, my stomach's like, whoa.
Oh, no.
I'm like, oh, no. Oh, no. So I had to deal with my Indian food stomach, which I ironically got from the Indian Ronald McDonald. So like Ronald Patel. And I had to deal with that shit on a fucking 737 all the way back to New Jersey, baby. And I felt bad. I felt bad for the people who had to make that trip with me, especially for you people in those last couple of rows. I know that was unpleasant for all of you, and I'm really sorry. But
so the moral of the story is that Fain had an upset stomach. He had the bubble guts.
Dude.
I shit my brains out. Not because of
It's a whole new
Indian
Mile
food,
High Club.
but because of what I thought was American food.
You're seeing that?
Did you ever?
Isn't that what
Was
amazes?
it?
Go ahead.
Was it a vegan patty or was it like?
Yes. Yeah, it was a vegan. It was a vegan patty, and yeah, it was a vegan patty, and they just replaced everything except for what I'm assuming is the bun and the lettuce. Everything else had an equivalent substitute.
Yeah. Well, like you said, the peppers. That actually sounds pretty good. Peppers on a burger are pretty good.
No, yeah, the theory of it is, but you fucking pull into the McDonald's in the middle of butt fucking shit nowhere in the desert of India and fucking go into that fucking dump hole and order a Maharaja Mac and tell me how much you love it. I should have just ordered some more fried dog off the side of the road.
Yeah. No shit. Yeah. Well, and see, that's my big question is with fucking, like, especially vegan, vegetarian food. Why are they going to like all these links to make it taste like meat, and to fact because that's exactly what they don't want.
Yeah, but I think
that doesn't compute, man.
It's that thing where I think that your instinct, that your mind, or maybe it's the fact that everyone else seems to really enjoy this shit, and if you're not one of those people who eats it, you would like to at least feel like you have that you're experiencing it. I've had veggie burger. Look, I've been married twice, and I've had veggie burgers in my freezer and thrown those on the grill. You know what I mean? I've been that soy boy. And you know what? It's better than eating most other vegetarian food. At least you can pretend that it's a thing you're familiar with and that you enjoy. So I really think it's just to make you, it's not because of the delicious taste. The purpose of a fucking veggie burger is to make the vegetarian feel like they are not sacrificing some of the good things in life because they don't want to eat animals. I think that's what it is. It's a sense of, it's trying to put off the sense of loss more than it is trying to enjoy the exact taste of beef.
Yeah, because it's usually the texture they go for rather than the flavor when they're looking for.
Yes, exactly. Because
we can change all sorts of flavor.
Yeah. So
you can make a burger taste awful, or you can make it taste like it's not even a burger.
Yeah.
Didn't we have
but in India, that's the only choice, man. That's your only fucking choice if you want beef, is to get simulated beef that, you know, made out of vegetables, because you cannot get it there. And it's not just a cultural thing. It's a goddamn law.
Do they eat
pork?
McDonald's
cannot serve beef. They cannot serve it.
Sacred animals, man.
Do they eat pork?
Well, you also can't fight off a monkey, certain types of monkeys and stuff that attack you too, right?
I don't know why. They should be killing those motherfucking monkeys and cooking them, because the fucking things are dangerous. Why would you just let them run the streets?
Yeah.
God damn it.
You should have wrestled it.
That is kind of crazy.
Leg lock.
Fuck.
Nah, dude. Look, I'm an old man. I'm an old man whose fighting days are behind him. But even when I was hopped up on methamphetamine and ready to fight, I was not going to fight one of these monkeys. Those motherfucking things, when they look you in the eye and square up and you can see their muscles rippling,
yeah,
you're like, not he's got nothing to lose. There's no look in his eyes that says, you know what, I want to fight, but I want to survive this fight.
Well, they're like 4 times stronger than humans. But what you could have done is you could have been wrestling the cow while your friend was fighting the monkey.
Just went ahead and spent the rest of my life in a fucking New Delhi jail. Yeah,
it's fine. They'll give you vegan McDonald's burgers, kid.
I was arrested for attacking a sacred animal. You know, what are you in here for? Murder. You know, so yeah, man.
The funny thing is about those burgers, once you get used to them, you just stop them altogether.
Yeah, fair enough.
Dude. This is, man.
Didn't we have a news story, Irate, about a guy that got tits from soy?
Yeah, man, the tits from soy thing. You want to tell me? You want to read that and let's talk about that shit?
Okay.
Tell me what I have to look forward to.
Okay, so normally, what country, Sophie, do you think would be the first country to exhibit or for men to physically overdose on soy? What country do you think would exhibit that first?
I'm gonna have to go with South Korea, Bob.
With K-pop, because South Korea has so much makeup? You'd be wrong. It's Britain, believe it or not.
God, is that true?
Great Britain.
Yes. So a story out of Britain. A guy was told by his doctor, "Oh, hey, you're lactose intolerant, so just switch to soy milk." Apparently, this guy was like a milk-drinking fucking enthusiast, because within a year of being switched to soy milk, he started growing breasts. So... Let me read the exact article title for you, because you're going to die. My Discord reset, so I went to go click on the link, and it was the wrong link. I hate that. There it is. England. Man grows breasts after drinking too much soy milk. That is the title of the article.
You know what? That is a little crazy, and I love Britain, by the way. I don't know if you guys have been, but it's fucking awesome. I love the fucking place, and you wouldn't think that. You know what? That's funny is I don't drink soy milk. I don't, contrary to popular belief to Nuki. I drink almond milk.
He's trolling your ass, isn't he?
I drink almond milk instead. I'm not sure what that's going to cause me to grow, but as long as I'm alive long enough to see it, I'll be happy. I would love to. I don't know if I'm going to be around. I don't know if my liver's going to make it long enough for me to grow boobs. But you know what? Fine, I'll take the boobs.
Well, they'll probably replace your liver soon anyway. Aren't they trying to figure out how to regrow people's own livers without the damage? Isn't that like?
Yeah, I feel like I'm not going to be accepted as an early adopter on that. And I'm also not sure that my Patreon is going to kick in enough to get me to purchase that.
Liver, y'all, because you know, I love.
You know what? Those are the only people I got to go to. I know I can't to the government. I can't go to my family and say, "Hey, I drank this liver to shit." But I could go to my patrons and say, "You know what? I drank this liver to shit, fucking in front of you guys. You saw it.
Watch me."
They would
and
kick
you
in
did
a few
nothing.
bucks.
You said nothing. You horrible fucking people.
I'm watching you, all right?
If you start crying at greeting card commercials, know that you need to go have your estrogen levels checked.
Yeah,
that was the other symptom the guy had too.
Yeah, well, that you know what, that does happen. I had my roommate Nick, who was on our we had a podcast with him called The Devil's Business, and he's a fucking like workout fiend, man, and so he'll do cycles. He'll do cycles of steroids, and what you cycle off the steroids, and then he would take, I forget what it was called, but he would take something else to like turn his balls back on. But what it did was it would kick up his estrogen so that his balls would start making natural testosterone again. Yeah. And but what would happen was when he would start taking that, man, because we would sit there in the afternoon and you know, after work and sit down and start watching a Braves game, and they would have these commercials during sports where the guy catches a baseball and then, you know, hands it to, you know, a special needs kid, or he catches a football and throws it up to the, you know, to a small child. One of those. Every fucking time that would happen, I would look over at him because he'd be like, and tears would be coming down his face. He's like, it's just so sweet. I'm like, oh man, dude, this cycle is killing you. I know. Look, you're fucking, you know, 235 pounds of solid fucking meat, but you cry like a baby when they hand a retard a ball. You need to fucking get your shit together. It's a real fucking thing.
No shit, man. No shit. Oh man. So is there any more to that, Timma?
No, that's it. That's it for that one.
You want to move on?
Boobs and
They just said, oh yeah, he took too much soy. They didn't even he didn't even act like he didn't want to be soy man.
But the thing is, I gotta call bullshit on the soy thing. I just have not seen the studies. I see the fucking civilizations that brought us soy.
Well, what about marijuana? You know, all the marijuana stories about, you know, growing gynecomastia and shit from that, you know? Has that ever been substantiated? See, I don't know.
I don't think any of it's been substantiated.
I don't either, man.
The person, when we're making fun of soy, you can point to one specific source that started this and started really pushing it. The dairy industry. Yeah, look, it's goddamn Prison Planet, people. It is.
I was going to say the dairy industry.
Paul Joseph Watson started this fucking rumor. The dairy industry is a good guess, but it was, you know, it's Paul Joseph Watson, and the thing is, when you look at like their what is that brain thing that they have,
ECG,
God,
EG.
But what one of the primary ingredients in those supplements that they sell, that Prison Planet and God, why can't I remember the main guy's name? All I remember is PJW, but. Because he was the guy who was really.
What are you talking about? Me? Jones, man. My name's Jones.
Yeah, there is. Alex Jones. Yeah, Alex Jones. When you look, the main ingredient in those supplements is soy. Get the fuck out of here.
But I scroll down to the news stories there, right? And I see, you know, white woman calls police on black man babysitting children.
That was here in Atlanta. That was here, and that was this morning. And That was my hometown. I saw it on the local news first thing while I was getting ready for work this morning. I was like,
"Why did you call cops on him?" Fucking so Fain, what are you doing? What, you looked at him and you were like, "Ah, man, the tints on my glasses made him look darker than he was." Sorry, guys.
It was super suspicious.
Man.
Oh shit. I've actually not gone through that, but my stepdad was black, and the one year I go to sign up for school at the beginning of the school year, and they told him they needed him to go home and get my birth certificate so that they could kind of have a little extra proof he was my father, and that didn't work. So they made him get my mother and bring her up there.
They needed a character witness.
Yeah, apparently. And they like asked for their fucking marriage certificate. She's like, "What the fuck? How much shit do you guys need just because he's black and my son's white?" They didn't believe that, you know, he would be my father. Like, what am I, kidnapped? But yet this guy has the sense of mind to put me in school?
Ain't that a bitch?
What would be their reasoning for doing that, man? That does not make a lick of sense.
But the thing is, it depends on when it happened and what part of the country it happened in. It makes a lot of sense.
He's a Yankee, dude.
Where important.
He's a Yankee.
Yeah, for me it was Michigan. Or is Michigan.
Don't be fooled just because.
See,
just
Mississippi.
because
I was gonna say, you know, Mississippi and Alabama. It's like, yeah, we see that shit all the time.
Yeah, just because they're north of the correct parallel doesn't exclude them from some of that. Look, my mother grew up in Washington State, and up in the country north of Spokane, Washington. And when she was 12 years old, the family loaded up in the car and drove down to Spokane to do some shopping. And she's looking out at the city, hanging out the side of the car, and there's a black on the street. And she hangs out the fucking car and says, "Hey, Mom, look, it's a Negro." And screams at it. Now, this is a story that she fucking really hates me to fucking tell. But the thing is, the North, some parts of the North, that's just not a common thing. In the South here, you know, black people are very common. And the racism comes from an honest place, which is, we don't like you and you don't like us. You know, these people are fucking shitty. They're just honestly shitty people. In the North, it happens just because, what? We don't know many black people, and that seems strange. There are pockets of the North where racism happens not because of this dislike or this hatred for another race, but simply because of an ignorance of the other race.
Maybe
because they've never been exposed to it.
Maybe it's kind of a xenophobic kind of thing.
Yeah, just a little touch of the xeno.
But it's not even racism itself at that point. They are just mistrusting of everybody who isn't like them.
That's fair enough.
It isn't whether you're black or white or Mexican or Asian. It's, oh, you're not from here. You don't have my accent. You don't drive a truck like I do, and you don't dress like I do. It's very.
That's fair enough.
At least that's what I've discovered living up here in the North.
There was also, my sister was on the way from Michigan to Arizona. She was driving down, wherever the fuck, to AZ with my two nephews, who are mixed. And she got stopped by the cops and told the reason that they stopped her was that a passing vehicle saw the children in the back seat holding up a sign that said, "Help." Even though they didn't have any paper.
Yeah,
you know what? Paper back there.
That'll get you.
You know what? Fair enough.
Yeah, that'll get you pulled over there, man. Yeah. Those were some mean fucking kids.
Well, she didn't. There was no paper back there. Literally, somebody reported something that didn't happen.
Oh.
Dude.
So she got pulled over, and they're like, "Are you these children's mother?" And she's like, "Yeah." Why? And the cop's like, "Well, this is what happened." And she goes, "Check the back seat and see if they have any signs." And they went through the whole back seat, and he didn't. You know, they had nothing back there. And he's like, "Oh, okay."
Damn.
I'm going to need a DNA test, lady.
This is wrong.
Jesus. Yeah, we had to take in a mountain of court documentation. My stepson was 17, and paper complications. My son, he just wanted to get a lip piercing, and he was like 2 months off of turning 18. So we were like, okay, well, we'll go see if Dad can go sign the paperwork for you, right? No, they wanted a copy of his birth certificate, custody paperwork. I mean, it was like this laundry list of shit they wanted. The piercist wanted to be able to do the piercing. And my son was like, no, I'm good. I'll just wait a couple months. You know, it was like,
you know what? That's a good thing, and let me tell you why. When I was 17, and it was the 80s, and I wanted to get. Back then, you didn't get both ears pierced. You got one ear pierced,
right? Because that meant you're
and so still piece. Yeah, your left ear pierced. That's what I have pierced is my left ear. Yeah. And the thing is, most people these days don't even understand that. But
it's like both or nothing. Yeah.
But to be honest, I wish that when I went in, that the person who pierced my ear would have said, you know what? No, you need to wait till you're 18. And so that maybe I could have survived over the line where my influence wasn't, wham. And that I could have got my both ears pierced. And because now I'm too afraid to get the other one pierced. And that the reason wasn't like, I want to get my left ear pierced so that everybody doesn't think I'm a faggot. I wish somebody would have spoke up and said, you know what? Hey, no, you can't, man. We're going to need to see your fucking birth certificate. I'm like, what, man? That's crazy.
Well, what about gender? Because that brings up the gender thing, man. Like letting kids ages 12 and under decide, what I'm saying? This transgender, what do you want to call it? Transgender shit. Because that bothers me the fuck out of me, man. That somebody that's not a full-grown adult is allowed to decide. Because I think at some point, if they're letting like 8, 9, 10-year-old kids make these decisions, you're going to have like 20-year-old people wonder at some point, why did I cut my dick off? Right?
I wonder what it's like to have a penis.
Well,
I guess you can. That could be the case. I will say that I've got a strange outlook on it. A lot of it actually happened because of some of the YouTube people I've met, Theron Meyer and Blair White in particular. And Blair is the weird thing. Look, Blair and I just recently buried the hatchet while we're in Milwaukee, because we did have some beef, Blair and I, and but
was it real beef? Or was it like a soy patty?
It was, yeah.
Good Lord,
Exactly.
Well, bring it back.
was like, yeah. Murder, call back. But you know what? I have some sympathy for kids, but there are certain lines I don't think you should cross. Look, if a kid wants to dress up as a girl, go to school as a girl, and do all that, I'm fine with it, man. It doesn't cause, anything. Like, it's the surgery. It's just making those decisions.
Right.
And actually, I think it's the same reason why I support you not being able to fucking get a tattoo when you're fucking 16, because goddamn it, you are going to hate what you love at 16. Odds are, when you are fucking 30, you are going to go like, what the fuck?
And by the time you get 80, it's going to be all like stretched out and shit and look like fucking horrible,
Yeah. So this age of consent, I think it's important, and not just for consenting to sex or whatever, but for consenting to making some stupid life choices that are permanent, like a sex change or a tattoo, or, in my case, getting your left ear pierced, and not both of them. You would understand it, because I'm just glad I'm around a group of people who doesn't think it's fucking stupid. I don't really hang out with a lot of people who are my age and understand that why you would only get your left ear pierced. That's so uniquely 80s.
Yes.
Like, I remember it, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was born in 87, so it was part of the 90s, too. I remember everybody being like, don't get your right ear pierced, because that means you're gay.
That means you're gay.
Yeah.
Meant it.
And, what's funny is, at the time, I didn't know George Michael was gay. I look back now, I look back at Wham, and then I look back at his album, and I'm like, so obviously gay, but I just didn't know any gay people.
Well, the same goes with like Freddie Mercury and Elton John.
Yeah, every girl. Well, all right. Eddie Mercury. Yeah, Elton John was. I could tell. Okay, him and fucking Liberace. All right, we had that.
Yeah, Liberace. Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, that was pretty obvious. But George Michael. Yeah. Like every fucking girl in my high school wanted to fucking bang George Michael, and I remember I would get so fucking. I'm having to listen to him, singing "I Want Your Sex," and all these girls are like, I'm like, what? This song kind of sucks, and these girls are just swooning over this, and then fucking 15 years later, I realized he wasn't singing it to these girls, he was singing that to me.
Exactly, man.
That was for me. He wanted to fuck me, you idiots.
Yeah.
And see what happened is he saw you in the mirror and he was like, "Oh, it's in his right ear."
Oh. It is the time before selfies, so that does make sense.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the 80s. Oh,
yeah.
The 80s. I love hate them.
Everything was pink and freaking olive.
Do you remember the Cotton Club, man?
Go,
in Atlanta?
go.
No, that was before my time.
Okay. Yeah, what about Masquerade?
Yes. I went to Masquerade many times.
Oh,
many
dude,
times.
I saw fucking
for many shows.
Oh wow! Did you see Ministry? The second album tour? Well, it was actually the fourth album. The Mind Is a Terrible Thing to Taste.
Yeah, they actually during that show, if I'm not wrong, that was it. In Purgatory, right?
Yeah, was it KMDFM, man?
Yeah.
Fuck! It was. I was there.
No shit.
No shit.
Well,
no
then,
fucking
then
shit,
we've
man.
partied together, buddy.
No
we've
shit,
partied
man.
together, so.
That's funny, man. Because that
I
was
know.
that was
I know
a great
Tanuki and Hannibal. Yeah, obviously you can look. It's so easy to look back with your young eyes and look back and go, "Yeah, Wham was gay as fuck." I look back and I see it. Yes, Wham was gay as fuck. But at that fucking time, for some fucking reason, I didn't see it, and most of us didn't see it.
Was wearing fucking makeup. Look at all the.
I wore makeup. I wore makeup.
Fashion at the time, everybody was wearing eyeliner and mascara.
Yeah, I did that because I dressed like Robert Smith.
Okay,
that was nobody knows because sunglasses is that Fain has his eyes tattooed with eyeliner.
Well, that would have been so nice. It would have saved me so much money. on eyeliner pencil.
We ever into Joy Division, man?
Yeah. I like Joy Division. God, what's funny is Joy Division is becoming a trendy thing. I thought Joy Division was okay, but I liked what they became much more.
New Order,
Yeah, New Order I found to be much more. I was a big New Order fan, and I thought there was a couple Joy Division songs I liked. But what's funny now is I'm seeing, 16-year-old kids wearing Joy Division shirts, and I want to slap the taste out of their mouth. It's become this trendy thing to like Joy Division. I'm like, you don't even get what was happening at the time, what was causing it. And I wasn't a huge Joy Division fan, but New Order, fucking Blue Monday. Yeah. Man, I rocked Blue Monday so many fucking times in my 1966 Mustang. That was my shit. I was an alternative 80s guy. And some of the subtle fucking things that these kids, when I see them wearing a Joy Division shirt now, I'm like, you don't even fucking get it. You don't even fucking get it.
It's kind of insulting, isn't it?
Yeah, it makes me fucking mad.
Well, it's an affectation. They're just,
I know, and it is hip, and I will give them these points. I will say, hey, you did a modicum of research into something that's very obscure and that your fucking peers would not understand, and it makes you seem cool and set you apart. I get it. +1 points for you, but I still hate you.
So it's like, Trippy Poop, you're right about Paul Stanley. Everybody knows he was gay. I mean, come on.
Oh, it probably.
For fuck's sake.
I just started looking at the chat. I don't know if it came up that I'm a Kiss fan, but I know stuff about that band. Damn it!
I'm pretty sure that Paul's in Santiago. You know what? The way he walks, even without the big boots, he kind of lifts around, and it's like. I expect him to break out into ballroom dancing at any moment. He's just going to pick up Ginger Rogers.
He's done operatic singing on stage and stuff.
Yeah. That doesn't surprise me. It really doesn't. I bet he
loves that kind of shit. I think he's bi, but he won't tell anybody. ever.
I don't think it doesn't fucking matter. I mean, he's fucking
doesn't
70
matter,
something
no,
years
but-
old.
Well,
you know,
you know what? If we would
He
have
looks
all
great.
guessed, if we'd all guessed it was Star Child, right? That was the gay one.
Yeah.
That's what you guessed.
And we would have been wrong. But it's just that
Kinda
so funny how the media was such a different thing when I was a kid. You know, there were 3 channels that were broadcast. There was ABC, CBS, and NBC in my area that I could pick up. And I couldn't get cable. I grew up out in the country on a farm, and it's so funny being exposed to the media that you just didn't understand what a gay person was.
Right.
And so when you saw them, you didn't even grasp that was happening. You were either Liberace or you were straight. That was how it worked. If you didn't look like Liberace, I couldn't tell you were gay.
Well, and I think that's a South thing, you know, because I don't, you know, because of the masculine gay person, you know, was rarely ever portrayed, you know, until like the 80s or 90s.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what. Now, if you go to this fucking,
Late
there's a LA Fitness near my house. Me and Pat have houses that are fairly close together. We live in the same fucking real close. He lives like a mile and a half from here.
Oh, wow.
And so there's a LA Fitness that's kind of between us, and you walk into there and start throwing around insults to gay people, and see how many 245-pound fucking ripped motherfuckers beat the dog shit out of you. The gay men around here are not to be fucked with because they're fucking hyped up on fucking steroids,
Right.
and not here to deal with your shit. But it's very different than it was growing up in the country in the 80s. Yeah, that fucking the Wham thing, I know that really fucks with me too, guys. When I fucking see Wham videos and George Michael videos now, I'm like, obviously gay, so obvious. But no, neither me nor any of the girls in my high school got it. Fuck everything.
I was going to say, as a child, I grew up opposite. I grew up in California, and I grew up in a bedroom community of Hollywood, in Santa Barbara.
Right.
So I didn't, like, being gay or not gay, it wasn't like a thing in my head because, like, I grew up around a lot of very gay people because it's entertainment.
I can see that.
And I expected the kind of lilty, much more gentle gay people that are in entertainment. That had become what I was used to. And then when I was a little over 30, we moved to Texas. So I spent about a decade
there's a
in
culture
Texas.
shock.
Yeah, and I loved it. I love Southern culture. I much prefer Southern culture. But being gay in the South, gay men are entirely different than they were on the West Coast.
Well, you get a lot of those, you know, back in the country. I mean, you get a lot of those men that talk like this, and you know, their wives are very masculine, and
Yeah.
you know, and it's like, and you know, they're hetero, man. Well, I guess.
who's got penis?
Or, you know, it's like one of those, you know, cover jobs, but they have children together and stuff, you know.
They have children together and then they meet it later and blow the
had
other
a
guy.
cousin like that, yeah. No, there's out in a place called Hartselle, Alabama. Got people in Sand Mountain to handle snakes.
I know Hartzell.
Yeah.
I know Hartzell. I'm very familiar.
Yeah, you know, do you know, like going up towards Huntsville and shit? You know where?
Yeah, there's
Mountain
two
is?
L's. There's 2 L's in Hartzell.
Yeah,
Everybody.
yeah, exactly. Heartselle. Yeah.
Yeah, Monticello. I got beat up, get my ass beat in Monticello at a party one time.
Dude.
It's a random story. But Hartzell made me think of that because I was same weekend. I've gotten my ass kicked in pretty much every state of the old Confederacy. Pretty much every one. I don't think I've gotten my ass whooped in Virginia or West Virginia.
So
I think that's about it.
You still got time. I mean, you know.
Oh yeah, I'm not done yet.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, man.
I'm going up to West Virginia here in a couple of months, and to go snowboarding at Snowshoe, and so I'll probably get my ass beat there. Go put it off the list, and then all I got to do is do Virginia, everybody. One more.
Like there's gas. There's still gas in the engine, man. That's right.
I could do it. Bro. I could do it. And look, as long as my mouth runs, my ability to get my ass beat remains intact.
No shit.
Your liver's just got to hold out, right?
That's it. That's it. That's it.
Well,
so
look, man,
everybody, thank you, and contribute to my Patreon because I'm going to need that fucking replacement surgery.
No doubt. This is at this point we do like a shill out. Since you're the guest, would you like to shill what's coming up for you guys? Any projects?
Right. Look, I've actually got a project I'm putting out on my Fain channel here soon. We have a video coming out on Second Civil War. That'll be out this week, and also I think maybe out this upcoming week is going to be another video that we've done. That's just quickly about the fact we recently had a video removed by YouTube, and so it's a video about that, which is kind of a mockumentary, a trailer for a mockumentary on that, and then we've got a few other things. Our current year Space Odyssey, the first official episode of that is going to be coming out here in a few weeks.
Yeah, I saw the pilot, man. That was great.
Yeah, that was just setting up for this much larger thing we're doing, which is more deep dives into YouTube channels and trying to look at those YouTube channels like someone who doesn't understand, who's trying to learn Earth culture by watching YouTube, and the confusion that might cause.
Well, all right, so was that opening like directly taken from Jeff Wayne's musical version of War of the Worlds?
No, it wasn't. Even though there was a little bit of influence from that thing, and actually I remember you brought that up, and then I went and watched that after we had released the video. You were the person who pointed out that specific version of War of the Worlds, which I believe was a stage production, and so no, but that was really funny when you pointed that out, and I did enjoy watching that.
Yeah,
it was really funny.
Well,
and
it was
really
a great
interesting.
album, and it had God, what is his name? It's just Richard Burton was narrating. But
Yeah,
it was great.
Yeah,
it was beautiful.
Yeah, it was really good. The intro was actually influenced by a different version of War of the Worlds.
Okay.
And then we found a guy who we thought sounded like shit.
Sounded like shit, huh?
God damn it.
James Earl Jones, perhaps?
It wasn't James Earl Jones. We're getting close. It's the black guy. Not the one from The Matrix, but the one from
Tony
fuck.
Todd?
God damn it. And so
there's Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah, getting close. Come on, it's the one from here in Atlanta, though. The black, he's from here in Atlanta, and he actually voiced the intro of the War of the Worlds movie.
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman.
Okay.
And so we actually found a guy that we thought sounded like Morgan Freeman to get him to do the intro, because that was the version of War of the Worlds that we were trying to play the beginning off of a little bit, and then the rest of it went into, that was the whole first episode, was just the pilot episode was just to set up the environment we're in for these other things. And so I've been working on a script for this for a long time. The next episode is going to be fairly long, but they're deep dives into looking at a YouTube channel and trying to learn about what humans are and what humans believe in, stand for, and are passionate about by watching a popular YouTube.
That's great, man.
All
right. So the idea here in my head right now is that I guess we're going to have to get you back at some point to talk some more about that. Because,
that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
So
Look, I love hanging out. I love hanging out and talking shit and having some drinks. I got my buzz on now. I've drank a couple glasses of Jack here and 4 shots of Cannon Blast.
Fuck yeah.
And,
Jesus.
You should be feeling really good, man. A little warm,
Yeah,
nice, warm and fuzzy. Yeah, that's cool.
I'm gonna sleep. I'm gonna crash out right after this and shopping for the Wheel of Misfortune, which is something that Pat and I do for the neighborhood kids.
Oh.
The Wheel of Misfortune is on Halloween night. We set up a candy casino at my house where we have this big wheel. And we're going to film it and try to maybe live stream a little bit of it this year.
Oh, that'd be great.
And what we do is when you come up trick-or-treating, I'll tell you the basic rules. You come up trick-or-treating, and we have this big setup. And I spend like $400 or $500 on candy. And I'm talking these giant fucking candies and the movie theater style candies. And kids' eyes start popping when they see a pound of fucking gummy bears or this giant fucking candy bars and stuff. And the deal is, what you can do is you can come up and we have a thing of fun size candy. You can take a piece of fun size candy and go about your Halloween, and happy Halloween, and we hope you enjoy the holiday. Or you can take some of your candy and put it up to have a spin at the Wheel of Misfortune. And on the Wheel of Misfortune, we have it's different squares set off. So you can buy a spin by putting some of your candy up. Now, if you land on black, we take your fucking candy. Get the fuck out of here. We take your candy. We also have a square where if you land on it, we can take any candy of yours. We will take the best candy out of what you have acquired so far for the evening. There's also dentist choice, which you can have a lovely toothbrush or maybe some dental floss. The kids love that one. There's also healthy choice, which we have a bag of carrots or celery. Kids love that. And so the thing is, we'll gather. There will be these huge crowds. We will have, tons of kids and parents show up for our thing, and we'll be in costume. We're yelling through megaphones. There's lights. There's fucking all kinds of jets. Spend tons of money on decor, and we'll sit there and we'll yell and we get drunk and yell at kids and try to take their candy and run basically what equivals, becomes a casino. That's what it is. It's a candy fucking casino. But the thing is, it's become such a thing that on Father's Day of this year, me and Pat were filming that day, and we ran over to buy some liquor at the liquor store as soon as it opened. And there's a guy in front of us at line, and he pays for his fucking liquor, and he turns around and looks at me and Pat, and he's like, turns right back around and talks to the cashier. He's like, "Hey, man, you got kids?" And the cashier's like, "Yeah, man, I got kids." He's like, "Well, then what you need to do is you need to take your kids to this fucking guy's house for fucking Halloween because he knows how to fucking do it." I'm like, "Hell yes, random guy." And the guy was like, "Yeah, man, we drive all the way from Cartersville to see you every year." And I'm like, "Man, that's cool." We get hundreds of kids coming through to do this, and they will chant against each other. Like a little kid will go up to spin. He'll bet a Snickers bar. And he'll go up so he can spin, and the other kids in the crowd are chanting, "Black, black, black, black," hoping he loses his candy. And last year we had a kid spin, and he had landed on a healthy choice, and he grabbed a bag of fucking tiny baby carrots. And he turned around, and his mother was like, "Oh, you didn't win anything." And he took the fucking carrots, and he threw them in her face. He was like, "You eat the fucking carrots." I'm like, "Oh, I love this kid." But it is something you got to see, and we will award people like second spins to try to win back if they will, in front of everybody, do what we call public humiliation. You can sing or dance or show some sort of talent in front of all these other kids. If you're willing to humiliate yourself in front of everybody, you can earn another spin. And that leads to what is a very fucking fun night. And if you're anywhere in Atlanta on Halloween night, bring your kids to our house because it is a fucking shit show. And
it looked amazing from the photos you had up last year. It looked like just I was like, oh, my kids would go crazy there. They would love that.
It's something I look forward to every year. Actually, I just got the yearly report from my HOA. But the house, we're in a 115 house HOA, and they send out a full color glossy notebook that tells you what all the plans are, the budgets, and all that shit. And sure enough, on the third page, you know, they have a picture of different events that they'll promote. Like, hey, we have our fall festival, and we have this swimming thing in the summer, and we do this, and with the tennis championship, and all this. And then right down there was Wheel of Misfortune with me and Pat in our fucking goddamn steampunk costumes yelling at children. You know, right? That's right. That's right. We've become a part of the lore of living in this HOA. Part of the thing is me and Pat, an idea we came up with while we were drunk a few years ago, has become so popular. It's just part of the lore.
That's killer. So you've definitely got to stream that shit, man. You know?
We'll do it. We will absolutely do it. We actually streamed it last year and then down. As soon as it was, we streamed part of it. Yeah. But this year is way bigger, way better. I'm investing way more money. It's fucking stupid what I'm doing.
It's awesome, man. You know, man, think about that though. If we were kids, man, and somebody had done that shit, you know?
Yeah, that's what I think. One thing that doesn't happen, one thing I don't have to worry about my house getting egged. And if somebody's fucking around here, one of these fucking kids, when I leave for work in the fucking morning and I'm driving and all the kids are at the fucking school bus stop, yeah, they're giving me bumps.
That's right.
They're pounding me out. They're not, you know, like I'm the one fucking guy who doesn't have to worry about getting his house, you know, a bag of shit left on his front fucking porch.
No shit,
and so. And what's funny is we use megaphones, and I'll yell when somebody comes up and puts a fucking butterscotch on. I'm like, oh, do not give me a piece of butterscotch because Miss Phillips at the end of the cul-de-sac is a cheap bitch. Take Miss Phillips fucking butterscotch back out. You either leave me some chocolate if you want to spin this wheel, or get the fuck out. I like to shame the neighbors into offering better candy.
That's right.
Halloween matters to kids, man. Halloween fucking matters, dude. Yeah. Pay attention and treat the kids in your neighborhood right, and they'll treat you right.
Somebody needs to remind Texas of that, or at least where we lived in Texas.
Yeah, man, it's all that fucking, Christian horse shit, and then on the other side, it's those, people that are like, blah, 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 appropriation. It's like, come on, y'all. Anyway, so all right, Trippy, what about you? Got anything coming up you want to pimp and shit?
Oh, okay, good. I'm not on mute. I thought I muted myself. Sorry if I yawned. Sorry about that. Anyway, yeah, just pickle show on Tuesday on Full Metal Pickle. Yeah. That's the channel, Full Metal Pickle.
Fun game.
Yeah, talk about music.
Yes, Timma.
I got some people to chill that I'm streaming with a little more regularly now. If you guys have a chance, there is Mad Dodge Productions, where you can watch conservatives re-out on us libertarians.
I know Mad Dodge. I know that guy.
Yeah, I do the Red Eye stream with him several days a week. And then James Jones on Discord, and Demus Anubis is his name on YouTube, and King. The three of us, they have a regular weekly show called Conjecture, and I try to get on there as often as I can. Unfortunately, I was sick this week, so I didn't get to do anything, but I try to get on with those two and cause trouble.
Is it King's Night you're talking about?
Yeah, it's on plain Discord.
It's
King's Night.
And James.
Yeah,
they're both cool.
Yeah, they're wonderful guys. They're funny. They're quick-witted. They make me laugh. So
yeah, that's what it's about, having fun. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and chill out, and then we'll end it. This is Irate Prostate. Of course, you know who I am. Remember what I said earlier. You sub to this channel, you leave a comment, you qualify for a $40 gift card from Amazon. That's right, at the end of the month. And tomorrow I'll be doing Drinks with Friends with, of course, Sir Adamantine. And Sunday we'll be interviewing Big Fat Brian. So that should be some fun, and of course, Irate Mondays. And then until Hot Takes, of course, next week we're not going to do 22 July, and I'll get into that later. But Brian and I'll talk about it when we do the interview. But yeah, we're gonna have fun this week. This is Irate Prostate saying y'all have a great week, and let's say goodbye, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.